apple fall tree, and welcome back to another unbiased review of the Wicked Kitchen for Tesco range. Today we've got Gunpowder Potato Chana Masala. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm having a really hungry day today. This looks like it's going to be quite substantial and quite filling. There's a nice mix of potatoes, rice and chickpeas in there, so I really hope this is going to fill me up. If you'd like to see the rest of the videos in this range, please visit the links in the description box below. Altogether there'll be 7 taste tests in this series, and please let me know if you'd like me to try anything else in the range. It's time to get eating. So let's take a close-up look at today's item, which is the Gunpowder Potato Chana Masala. Chickpea chana masala, gunpowder spiced potatoes, spring greens and tarragon saffron rice. I've never heard of a gunpowder spiced potato. I don't know what gunpowder spice is. I don't know if it's a particular blend of spices or if it's just the way they've chosen to describe it. It's not something I've ever heard of. Please leave it in the comments below if you have heard of it. So this is the second curry I'm trying in the range. And on first impressions, I'm really pleased to see that they haven't filled the rice full of coriander. There is a sprig of coriander on there, which will be really easy for me to pick off. And it does look like there are some bits of chopped coriander, which again will be quite easy to remove. But all in all, I'm really glad to see that that whole portion of rice there has not been contaminated with the coriander. Let's take a closer look inside the pot. Wow, that smells good. Ooh, that has got a real spicy kick to it. That smells absolutely delicious. Wow. Whew. I can already tell that those potatoes are going to have a real kick to them. It looks like they have interspersed the rice with fried onions, which I quite like. Obviously I much prefer that to the coriander. I'm not seeing the chana masala. I'm assuming it's down here under these potatoes. I would have maybe liked to have seen more of that across the rice rather than hidden underneath the potatoes. And it looks like we've got a decent amount of spring greens going on in there as well. It does smell to me like restaurant quality spice rather than cheap and cheerful curry powder. I am going to have to take a close look at the ingredients on the back and see if I can try and figure out exactly what constitutes a gunpowder potato. Once again, I can see some whole spices here. And I'm looking forward to this being a really filling, warming dish. So with a look at the close-up of the reverse packaging, the official description: chickpeas in a masala sauce, spiced saffron rice, roasted spiced potatoes, topped with spring greens, fried onions and coriander. That sounds really tasty. This is the third item so far I've tested in the range to contain no allergens, so they're doing really well on the allergen front. And again, it's all nice, easy to understand, readily available ingredients there. And something that's really nice to see is even the colour in here is actually made from beetroot juice concentrate, so there's no artificial flavours or colours in there. With regard to the nutrition table, this one is coming in at 531 calories. I would imagine that's due to the mixture of the potato, the chickpeas and the rice, but I would also imagine that from that combination this is probably going to be one of the most filling. So the first thing to point out is the smell. This smells like really authentic pilau rice. I can definitely tell that they've used whole herbs and spices. We can see the whole cardamom pod in there. It smells very authentic. For full disclosure, I have removed as much of the visible coriander as I could. That's obviously a preference just for myself, but it's just to let you know why the dish looks slightly different now than it did before it was cooked. Let's try some of the rice and the chana masala. That's nice, that's really nice. Not only does that smell very authentic, that pilau rice tastes very authentic. The chickpeas are really well marinated. I would maybe have liked to have seen this sauce on top of the rice rather than hiding under the potatoes. I think it's an element all in itself, and I don't think it needs to be hidden under there. I think it really should have been maybe set out in thirds so you can really see that sauce, and some of that sauce then would have really soaked nicely into the rice as well. Going for a gunpowder potato. I'll try that on its own first. That's got a lovely kick to it. Lovely, spicy, roasted potato. Obviously been marinated before roasting in spices. It does look very much to me almost like it's been barbecued or char grilled, the way the spices have cooked onto there. We've got spring greens down here in the bottom. Love me some greens. Let's try and get a little bit of everything up on the fork. So we've got the gunpowder potatoes, we've got some of the pilau rice, the chickpea chana masala and the spring greens. Let's give all that a go. I would definitely say this is the quality of a really decent Indian takeaway. It's far above and beyond anything I've ever had ready meal wise as Indian food. The spring greens are a really nice touch. They haven't wilted too badly in the cooking. The cooking time seems perfect. This was one of the nice and easy, straight in for 4 minutes, no messing. It's very lightly spiced. There's enough spice in there to make my nose run. But it's not packing so much heat. If you do prefer your food on the spicier side, if you do prefer your food with a little bit more heat, you might be a little bit disappointed. But I understand why they will have left the heat factor as being fairly mild, so it does appeal to all tastes. This is definitely amongst my favourites so far. I definitely feel it's going to be much more filling than, say, for example, the teriyaki noodles. But then you do have to bear in mind that there's probably more calories in this one. Just going to try one last potato. The potatoes have retained a really nice texture. You can probably see from that they've not gone overly soft, they've not gone overly flaccid, and you can just see from the way the skin comes away from the potato there that they've really properly been roasted. The outside of them is very similar to the skin of a jacket potato, so they're very authentically roasted, those. All in all, I think I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. My only criticism would be that I would have preferred to have seen more of the chana masala, and I would probably have preferred that to have been on the rice or partially covering the rice rather than hiding underneath the potatoes. This is definitely something I would recommend. It's definitely something I would buy and eat again. In comparison to most other curried ready meals I've ever had, this is up there with one of the best. And all in all, I'm very impressed. So that was the Gunpowder Potatoes Chana Masala. All in all, it's definitely one of my favourites. I'm really impressed with this dish. It's definitely comparable to a decent Indian takeaway meal. I can already tell it's going to be quite filling. It's definitely something that I would consider to be a go-to ready meal. And it's obviously going to be far cheaper than a traditional takeaway. I think all the individual elements work really well together. All in all, considering the rest of the range, this one definitely gets a thumbs up from me and a rating of a 9 out of 10. If you are all interested to see my opinions on the rest of the range, then please keep checking back. There are more videos to come. As I mentioned at the very beginning, none of this is sponsored whatsoever by either Wicked Kitchen or by Tesco's. It's all completely genuine, 100% unbiased review. I'm giving you a nice close-up of exactly what's in the pot. Nothing's been styled or enhanced for visual purposes. It's literally as I'm seeing it, as I take it out of the packaging, just as you'd see it if you picked it off the supermarket shelf yourself. Please let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Until next time, give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to carry on with this. I'll speak to you soon.